Reprints are destroying the market, but I guarantee it's not in the way that you think. But first, hi, I'm Brandon. I own TCGtrue.com. I've been selling Pokemon and working with the distributors for a little over 2 years now, so I do have a lot of insight into how this all works. And this video is going to talk about the reprints that Pokemon has been doing and why that is the reason that we are looking at such an abysmal market right now and one that's not improving anytime soon. And quick tax. Now, I know when I say that reprints are ruining the market, immediately some of you are going to think that I'm talking about the investment side, and you see the boxes behind me, you say, oh, well, this guy's just upset because the reprints are tanking his investments, and now he's losing a bunch of money. But that is not what this video is about, and that's not what I mean when I say that the reprints are destroying the market. So Pokemon recently announced that the first Mega Evolution set that is scheduled to arrive on September 26th is going to be released in 2 waves. Now, this doesn't mean that they're going to release all the product that they had and then another wave of more product. They are going to release all of the product that they had just in 2 separate times. So it is the same amount of product, just about a month later. They said that the second wave would release sometime in October. So this is not a print wave 1 and a print wave 2. This is print wave 1, but halved. And the reason for this is Pokemon just isn't ready. They don't have everything printed and ready to ship out on time for what they assume is going to be the release date for this. And so what they're doing is they have to take whatever they have for the first half-ish, the first wave, they're going to ship that out and they're going to continue printing until they've caught up to whatever the amount of number that they scheduled to have for this release, and then ship that out sometime in October. Now, this is terrible news because it means that Pokemon is already behind on the first set. What we hoped was going to happen was that for the Mega Evolution, they would be able to catch up, we could fix the market, they could get out ahead of the demand. This is actually showing the opposite. They are behind the demand. They're behind what their own schedule, the own amount of product that they want to have is so much that they have to actually split the release of this product in half, which means us businesses are only going to get about half of what we were allocated, and then I guess hope that we get the second half about a month later. And so rather than the price going back down, getting back down to the more reasonable amount that we used to be in the earlier Scarlet and Violet generation, this is only going to make the supply less. It's going to be even harder to get boxes on release, which means the price is going to go even higher. It's not coming down, the price is going to shoot up. Then when the second wave comes out, the price isn't going to go down again because, once again, we're only dealing with half the amount of the product. It's the same amount, but split over more than a month. So the people who weren't able to get it in the first wave, they're going to be scrambling to get it in the second wave. Businesses are going to be charging whatever the market price is. They're not going to charge less. It's only going to continue to go up. And this abysmal situation is entirely the fault of reprints. Now, this kind of goes back to the release of Prismatic Evolutions. The problem with Prismatic Evolutions is there wasn't even a 1/20th of the amount available of, versus the demand of what people wanted. And so right off the bat, there was not enough. Pokemon heard this. There's a lot of complaining in the community. People were very, very upset. And so Pokemon decided they were going to start reprinting a bunch of the older sets. And they have been doing reprints since about that spring, like late winter, early spring area, somewhere in like that March, February time frame. They've been doing reprints. Problem with that is the reprints is all printing backwards. Printing backwards does not solve anything going forwards. And Pokemon was so far behind on these reprints that the Ogerpon box that was supposed to release, I believe it was in like April or sometime, didn't get released until June or July, back over in the summer. That box was all Temporal Forces and Paradox Rift. That wasn't even any of the new stuff. That was some of the stuff that they had a ton of laying around. But they're so far behind with the reprints that even got delayed multiple months for sets that were almost a year old at that point. So they've been reprinting sets like Surging Sparks, Prismatic Evolutions, Destined Rivals. They've been printing all this stuff that happened, months ago at this point, that's been out in the community for some of them coming up on 6+ months. They've been reprinting all of that stuff. The problem is this is a zero-sum game. And what that means is every minute that they spend, every day that they spend printing an old set is a day that they are not spending printing something that is coming out in the future, okay? So Pokemon heard that people were upset and they wanted to reprint some of the old stuff because people felt like they weren't able to get as much of the older Scarlet and Violet, some of the stuff that came out, 6 months or so ago, like Prismatic Evolutions. A lot of people still want that set. But enough people were saying, hey, we weren't able to get this, so Pokemon is trying to say, okay, we're going to print that so that you guys are able to get it. We'll put more into the market so that you can get your hands on it. Problem is, now we are seeing that they have been trying to catch up with the old stuff and not anywhere near able to print the future stuff that people want as well. And this is why I'm saying that the reprints are ruining the market. Because while this may make some collectors happy, you are able to get your hands on some of the older stuff a little bit easier, even though the price really isn't going down with the reprints. Because they're not releasing enough for the price to go down. They're just putting a little bit more onto the market. Maybe it goes down 5-10% at most, but it's not going back down to like the release prices. So they're trying to make these people happy who want the older stuff, and I understand it is frustrating if you really enjoyed Prismatic Evolutions and you felt like you weren't able to get enough of it when it came out. So you're happy to hear that there's more Prismatic coming out, because then you're able to get some. Problem, though, is that everybody wants the new stuff coming out. And so them trying to catch up, Pokemon trying to catch up by printing backwards, has now put them so far behind that they are not even close to getting ahead for the future stuff. And I have no idea when that's going to change. Printing new stuff for releases in future sets takes many months to get to. It's not like they just do it 1 month in advance and then, there they are. This takes many months of printing and planning and packaging and all of this stuff for them to actually get set up. And so if Pokemon is so far behind currently with the first Mega Evolution set, which comes out in a month, there is almost no chance that they're going to catch up in the second or even third set, which means we are waiting until possibly the fourth set, which would be coming after Christmas. We're looking at 2026 before any of this stuff even potentially starts to heal. And as much as this might upset some of you because you want to get some of that older stuff, I truly believe that if we are ever going to heal, if we're going to get back into a reasonable place, Pokemon needs to stop printing everything in the Scarlet Violet generation entirely. All of these reprints, all of these old sets, they kind of just have to say, look, we're really sorry. It is what it is. We're not going to do anything anymore with Scarlet Violet. Scarlet Violet is done. There's no more printing. All of their printing, all of their days, their work, their man hours, their resources needs to go towards future Mega Evolution sets. Even it sounds like this first one is already cooked. It's already too late for this. Don't reprint this first set. I would love, and I believe what needs to happen for the Pokemon Company to say, okay, we fell behind. We made mistakes. What we're going to do is we're going to take everything we have and print forward. Mega Evolution 2, 3, 4, all of that stuff. We are going to put all our resources into getting ahead on that. We are no longer going to be doing split releases. We're not going to fall behind. We're going to get above what the demand is. Whatever you guys think you want, we're going to print way more than that. If they finally do that, if they put all of their resources into getting ahead, we can finally start to see the prices come down. But until they do that, nothing's changing. Booster boxes are going to be $250 plus on release, and they're only going to go up. And this has been happening now for, 5-6 months almost? Like, we've been in this state for a very long time, and we're looking at another 5-6 months minimum before we actually start to get ahead. And this is all because the reprint problem, Pokemon trying to satisfy the people who want the stuff in the past, is kind of screwing everything in the future. Now, will Pokemon do this? Do they even care? Do they like the fact that the boxes are, 2 times what MSRP is? I don't know. I don't have that information, obviously, and they would never share that with the public. All I can do is share to you what the distributors tell me about, the split release of Mega Evolution 1, and kind of infer what that means as far as where the Pokemon Company is. And they are, by all accounts, way, way behind. They've been behind for a while, and it doesn't seem like they're catching up. It seems like they're falling farther behind. Things are getting worse, not better. And if you're behind in a race, you cannot catch up by going backwards. And that's what they've been doing. All of their reprints is essentially like them taking steps backwards. What they need to do is they need to put all their energy into moving forwards. They need to print forward all the Mega Evolution sets until things get fixed. And once they get fixed, if they want to go back and reprint some stuff, they can do that as well. But it is very, very obvious to me and to everybody else that the Pokemon Company does not have enough resources and time to do both at the same time. They cannot reprint backwards to fix those situations with the Scarlet Violet sets and actually get ahead with the Mega Evolution. It's not possible. You have to choose one or the other, and I think they're choosing wrong. I think that they are choosing wrong. Anything that they're putting into printing backwards is making the future problem, the new releases, even worse. But I'm certainly not an expert. I don't work for the Pokemon Company. I'm not an economist. I don't always understand why prices go up, prices go down. I mean, I have a rudimentary, understanding, but I can only give you guys the information that I have from the distributors, and then we all kind of come to conclusions. But what do you think? Am I completely wrong? Do you think that I'm correct? What do you think? Is it actually Pokemon's fault? Is it the reprints? Or is it just the scalper problem that everybody seems to blame everything on, which certainly doesn't help, but I think blaming scalpers for the entire the entire state of the market is like a convenient excuse, but it's certainly not what I believe is the true, like the top level problem for all this. But let me know what you think in the comments. And quick shameless plug, like I said, I own tcgtrue.com. I've been selling Pokemon for a couple of years now, and if you enjoy cheap prices on either Japanese, English, Chinese, I also have Japanese One Piece and some other card games. If you enjoy any of that stuff, please check out the site above. I do have Mega Evolution pre-orders happening. However, like I said, I'm not getting very much. It's a very, very small amount. So that's probably going to sell out in about 45 seconds whenever I do the release, which is going to be tonight, the same night that I release this video, 8:30 p.m. East Coast time. So if you're able to snag one, congratulations. I do have a one-box maximum policy because of how few allocations that I have to try to get as many people as I can product. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate you watching all the way through this. Listen to me rant about the market and why it's frustrating that things aren't getting any better, because I feel like Pokemon's just not making the right decisions. But anyway, thank you guys. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.